Tell me how you personally would define torture.
Well, it's a legal term. All right.
I know it is, but I want personally and morally, is there something you wouldn't do?
Well, yeah, there are many things that I wouldn't do.
Would you waterboard?
I've already answered the questions that I don't know, and it would depend on the totality of circumstances.
But you haven't defined what torture is in your mind, and how far you should go.
Well, there are certain things that are always off the table. There are certain things that are clearly permissible, and then there are a bunch of things in the middle, and I would admit that waterboarding's near the edge of that window. I would admit that are gray and would demand very compelling circumstances for anyone to picture themselves doing.
Let me talk about what we also just heard from Meg Satterthwaite, whose client was among 26 of 119, one in five, who were wrongfully imprisoned.
And what's your definition of wrongfully?
How does that happen? They did not meet the legal standard. I'll go right back at you on that.
That's exactly right. Not that they weren't members of Al-Qaeda, but that they did not meet the high legal bar for this program.
She had a client in jail who was thrown in there because he had passport issues for 19 months. How do you hold someone for 19 months?
I don't know the details of that case. I would suggest, based upon the history we've just laid out here this morning, an awful lot of that falls on Jordanian liaison service and what they told us about this individual. But the Senate report, the Democrat report, says 26. The month before I arrived at the agency took their own look at the 97 people they had held up to that point and concluded that of that 97, 5 did not meet the high standard that was required to go into this program. Not that they weren't dangers or they were not members of Al-Qaeda.